father, and Perfecta del Piero his mother. The name of his wife is Luz Banzon Magsaysay, and they have 3 children, named Teresita Magsaysay, Milagros Magsaysay, and Ramon Magsaysay Jr., who later became a senator in the Philippines. So he completed his elementary education at Castillejos, and he attended high school at Zambales Academy. In 1927, enrolled siya Grillo studies sa University of the Philippines and then shifted to engineering. But nagkasakit man siya, tungod kay nagkasakit siya, na-left siya sa University of the Philippines, and then in 1930, nag-start na siya work as mechanic at TriChan. So ang TriChan, it is a transportation firm or company or bus company. So while he was working, he also continued his college at Jose Rizal College, who is now Jose Rizal University. And then he graduated on March 22, 1933 with AB Commerce degree or Bachelor in Commerce. Then nahimo siyang manager sa TriCan in 1941. Then, diba, last discussion, we discussed about the surprise attack of the Japanese sa mga US. And then, muna itong nag-prepare sila for a war. So, muna siya ang World War II. So, ang World War II di ay Magsaysay serve as a guerrilla intelligence officer. So, katong mga guerrilla fighters, sila gustong ni-fight sa mga Japanese that time. And then, si Ramon Magsaysay, siya ang guerrilla intelligence. Ang tawag sa iya kay Captain Chu. So, also yung ginabuhat sa guerrilla intelligence officer. Ang ginabuhat niya kay he will be the one that gather important information from the enemy forces so that mas successful ang paghanagang operation sa mga guerrilla fighters. And then, nahimo siya overall commander of the Zambales Military District. So, pag human sa World War II, nahimo na po siya, si Ramon Magsaysay, nahimo na po siya military governor of Zambales, and then pinahelp niya, pinatabangan niya ang mga guerrillas to gain benefits from the US. So, di ba, ang World War II, nakadaog dito ang sa US. Napildi ang Japanese sa US with the help of the guerrilla fighters. So, kaning guerrilla fighters sila butong ni-fight together with Ramon Magsaysay. So, since napildi nila ang mga Japanese, ginabangan ni Ramon Magsaysay ang mga guerrilla fighters na makakuha sila benefits gikan sa US. So, most ay mga benefits na makuha nila. First is recognition and respect. So, ang US, they officially recognize nila ang mga guerrilla fighters as the hero who fought against the Japanese. And then, mainly guerrilla fighters na ma-receive of monthly ay kanagaling pension or regular money para mo imubuhi sa ilang or makatabang sa ilang nga families. And then, some guerrillas were given land. Ang uban ng mga guerrilla fighters, bitagaan silang mga yuta to live for. And then, para na sila ang matangnan ko sa ilang mga farm, pag-farm ba. And then they also got medical care, education, and other benefits na makuha po dito sa US fighters. Then, he was elected representative of Zambales, so nag-lead sila sa National Defense Committee, and then later joined the Liberal Party. In 1950, he was appointed Secretary of National Defense. Hindi mo siya Secretary siya National Defense, earning praise for his efforts against communist insurgents. So, kaning insurgents sa unang mga communist rebels, muli siya mga grupo gani na ni-against sa Japanese, but later on, ni-against sila sa government. Ang main communist sa una kay ang Hukbalahak, murag na-discuss din siya sa ilahan ni Shane, kaning grupo, Hukbalahak na nilid ni Louis Taro. So, kaning Hukbalahak, ginatawag na siya Hukbong Bayan laban sa mga Hapon or People's Army against the Japanese. So, ni-against sila sa Japanese, but later on, ni-against po sila sa government. Kaya they were treated unfairly. Unfair ilahang pagtalo sa ilahan. Publika sila, they were unhappy, and then publika ng mga farmers kaya wala yung mga yuta. But then, si Ramon Magsaysay ang nakapangita o paaging nga ma-stop ang mga communist rebels, ang mga rebelde that time nga, dili na sila mangita o ng away. Kaya mangita din ng away ang mga communist insurgents. Then in 1953, he joined the Nacionalista Party and was nominated for the presidency. So nahimo siya na-elect siya president on November 10, 1953, and he became the 7th president in the Philippines on December 13, 1953. O siya ang kinaunhan nga ni Ware sa Barong Tagalog. Si Ramon Magsaysay ang kinaunhan nga ni Ware sa Barong Tagalog during his inauguration, and he also opened Malacanang to the public. So So unsay yung pasabot sa inauguration? Inauguration. Yes, Mark.
Inauguration.
It's like kanang way of kanang opening saya kay siya na yung president pa.
Yes, sakto sa
Ceremony.
mura siya kaning oath taking kapatid ang promise siya nga iyahang to serve the Philippines at in his best. So muna siya. Then gi-open niya ang kanyang pala sa public. He created the Presidential Complaints and Action Committee. So kani nga mga group, they will be the one nga mo kuan kani mga problem from the ordinary people. A group that listens to the problems of ordinary people. He also signed the Laurel Langley Trade Agreement. So kaning Laurel Langley Trade Agreement, it is a agreement between the US and the Philippines kabahin sa mga trade. Para fair ang pagkuan sa mga product diri sa Philippines dito sa US, at the same time kuan pud ang mga product diri sa US diri sa Philippines. And it changed the rules to make trade fair for the Philippines and help Filipino products enter the US market better. And then his administration of Ramon Magsaysay secured $400 million in war damage payment. So since di ba katong World War II, daghan kay itong mga nang-damage ato.
Yes.
So gibayran o gitagaan ang Philippines og $400 million sa US pambayad sa mga na-damage na katong war. And then katong ang kanang war rebuild na gigamit na ni Ramon Magsaysay to rebuild new roads, buildings, mga farms and mga businesses. So wala na niyang corrupt. And then he also formed the SEATO. SEATO means Southeast Asia Treaty Organization. It is mga place ni siya from Southeast Asia nga tinabangay gani to work together and then to avoid war. And promised to work together to keep peace and protect each other from threats. It was like a security team for the region during the Cold War, a time when countries were afraid of war. And then lead the surrender of Hope leader Luis Tarroc. So as what I mentioned a while ago, it's about a group na Hope Balaha. So ang leader ato kay si Luis Tarroc. So si Ramon Magsaysay ang nakapasurrender ni Hope leader Luis Tarroc nga isurrender yung ilang mga arm ng mga gamit kanay pang-abay, mga arms, give up sa arms helping bring peace to the country. Then in 1955, he passed the Land Reform Act. So this law was made to give land to those poor farmers. So ginatagaan yung mga yuta kato mga poor farmers para na ay matangnan mas pagusto silang tanong sa ilang itanong sa yuta kailangan naman ito nga yuta. So siyang ipakatagan ng yuta. And then supported cooperatives, group of farmers or workers helping each other in business. So kani mga supported cooperatives, mali siya mga gipang grupo niya ang mga farmers para magtinabangay sila. And then he created NAMARCO. NAMARCO is National Marketing Corporation. And then kani NAMARCO, it helps small Filipino business para mas maka-earn sila og dagko and to make by selling their products good and marketing them better. Then next is loan funds for Filipino traders. So kani Magsaysay set up money funds where small traders and farmers could borrow money at low interest to grow their businesses. This helped many Filipinos start to improve their small businesses. So si Ramon Magsaysay ni-create siya mga loan para makahulang og kwarta to mga Pilipino. With, di ba karon kay hulang tag kwarta kay dako kay interest. Pero sa iyang kuan kay na ang hulang og kwarta is gamay ra kayo ang interest sa mga inang magpa-loan siya. Then lastly, he also resettled former rebels in EDCOR communities. EDCOR means Economic Development Corps. So kani siya, gipagtagaan niya og mga puloy-an og mga communist rebels as what and ato mga ni rebellic and ni against kani sa government. So bukan kay siya, ihatag siya og yuta kapuy-an sa mga communist rebels together with their families. And then para dili na sila mo against pa sa government. And then issues during his administration. So problem during his administration is the corruption among cabinet members. So during his administration, daghan ko kay mga corrupt pero dili siya, iyahang mga cabinet members. And then the endless attempts to bribe the president were the most common issues of that time, where corruption was very rampant among government officials. So daghan kayo ganahan siyang bayran para kanang ganahan ng bayad niya is i-treat og VIP gani and then ay special treatment and then para bayran siya po against the law. But Ramon Magsaysay hates corruption. Dili siya kanang corruption. So ginagbalibala niya tong nang bribe sa iyaha. So that's why many Filipinos love him. Dahan kayong higugma ni Ramon Magsaysay. Because he had a zero tolerance against corruption. And he is one of the best presidents in the Philippines for they say that he has a kind heart and he is a very down-to-earth person. And then the most popular of all the presidents in the Republic, and though he did contributed a lot to the country, daghan kay siyang na-contribute kay kuan na kay siya simple kay siya nga pagka-president. Hana gani ma-approach dahil siya sa mga Pilipino, and then mahinabangon siya daghan kay siya nga tabangan, especially mga poor Filipinos, mga farmers ana. And then one of the most controversial issues is his death. Some would say that it's only an accident, but according to some articles, it was planned, and they planted a bomb in the airplane he died. So namatay siya sa plane crash at Mount Manunggal in Cebu. Bata pa siya namatay, 49 years old. And then namatay siya on March 17, 1957. Dahang kaingon nga, gitamnan daw ng bombang airplane kaya ni Sakyan. Nandagan kong nakingon nga, kung ano yung kalisip, dahan kayo masukyan niya. Dahil his untimely death, he was unable to complete his term, which was supposed to end on December 30, 1957. So, March, taas pa po yan. Kasi naghan pa kaya siyang mabuild ang mga program ba, matukod ang mga katabang. Pero kaya namatay man siya. So, isunod niya si Carlos Figueroa, siya ilahang vice president. Then, on March 22, ginubog siya 1957. And then, naghan kaayaw ni attend ng mga Pilipino sa iyahang burial. Kay a reflection of the nation's deep respect and admiration for him. So, that's the administration of Ramon Magsaysay Sr. Questions?
Is he the so-called known the president of the masses? Presidente sa mga masa? Yeah, okay.
Wala na siya yung mga ina-issue na nila niyang ikatulad ng mga problem sa iyong mga cabinet members. Dahan kay corruption, dahan kay isang ganahan ng bayaran, dahan kay dahan ng bayan niya para mo against the law ba na ay ginapalo mga ni Ramon Magsaysay ang law mo nang kuan siya best president in the Philippines. Kasi mga program na po ang Ramon. Nagkakot itong mention kanina. Murag dili wala na kayo ng anten na kayo. Murag daghan na kayong mas against sa kuan sa government gani. Daghan na kayong daghan kay kurang. Kita niyan. Pag ganito kabalo ba sa mga kuan mas taas pa nga higher ka na sa naging is na so wala na kayo. And then murag basta na ba? Napa? Sure? Let's proceed to Carlos Figueroa.
Let's proceed to the administration of President Carlos Figueroa. So, Carlos Figueroa was born on November 4, 1896 in Calibon, Bohol, Philippines. So, Garcia grew up in politics, serving as municipal mayor of four terms. So, at a young age, Garcia was being exposed to Garcia because of politics and public service because of his father was serving as a four-term mayor at their place at Calibon, Bohol. So, Garcia, before he became a president, Garcia was a Filipino teacher, poet, operator, lawyer, and a public official and political economist, and one of the guerrilla at his time. A government military leader, and he was the 8th president, Ramon Magsaysay Sr. And he was the 4th president of the Third Republic. Muna na itong na-independent na ang Pilipinas. So sa Third Republic, he was the 4th president. But sa sunod as pinakakuan ni Goto First na Republic, he was the 8th president. So his parents was Policarpio Garcia, who is the mayor of Calibon, Bohol in that time, and his father was Ambrosio Cristico, who were both native of Bangwen, Abra. So kung nagkuhan yung asa na Bangwen Abra? Yung as part of Luzon at Bangwen Abra. So kung nagkuhan yung anong nagtaas sila sa Calibon, Bohol, even kung taga-Bangwen Abra sila, because balit sila Calibon, Bohol because of his young father na being a political na as a public servant. So on May 24, he married his wife, Lenela Di Mataga, and they had one daughter, which is Hilda Garcia Campos. So, for his educational background. So, Carlos Figueroa acquired his primary in his native Calibon. So, primary pa lang is in Calibon na siya nag-eskwela. And took his secondary education in Cebu Provincial High School. So, in primary is in Calibon, and he valued siya for his secondary education in Cebu Provincial High School because of its reputation and so the Cebu Provincial High School now is called as Abellana National High School. So, and then he later studied at the Philippine Law School and he earned his law degree in 1923. So he had balik so from Calibon to Cebu, and then he balik siya for his tertiary degree or the Nibali na siya og Silliman University at the Dumaguete Negros Oriental. So we ning Dumaguete and then wala na yung ang eskwela o kuan na Silliman University and he got this law degree at Philippine Law School in 1923. And then in 1961, he was awarded Honorary Doctor of Humanities, honoris causa from the National University. So Carlos P. Garcia was very intelligent man. So
Great college siya.
he was a very intelligent man because he graduate na he is top 10 of the bar exam.
Taga Tibon, taga Dumaguete na siya.
No, he is from Calibon, Boal, but he studied siya of tertiary in Silliman University, Dumaguete. Wala daw siya ako yung Silliman. Wala ako okay. Of course.
Minyo ba na siya?
Wala siya. Not like one doctor.
Nasa Iwan Doctor. Wala na, nabalik na namatay naman siya.
So in 1933, he was among the top 10 most students at the bar examination. Nakakagigil nila and then he became for his poetry in Buhawi. He earned a nickname of Prince Visayan Poets and Bard from Bohol. It is a Bohol na siya and then he was a fan. And one of his famous poet is Dalagang Pilipinhon. Pilipinhon, which is for English, is term is Young Filipina Maiden. So that is one of his famous poet nga naguma. So Carlos P. Garcia was very well to siya. Pretty siya mo sila ng mga poets and so until this day, one po bang degree. So dapat siya mga bago sa libong mga president, dapat siya na yung siyang teacher, yung siyang mga very kanya poet. So now let's go for political career. So President Garcia became the president. He served siya sa Bohol Calibon. So in 1925, Garcia entered politics scoring an impressive victory to become representative of the 3rd District of Bohol. So in 1925, muna siya pinakauna nga nidalagan siya o sa public servant in their lugar sa Calibon, Bohol. And nakadaog siya fit up of the 3rd District na and then nidalagan niya po siya to and become re-elected in 1928 and served until 1931. So pagkawa niya of a 3rd representative of their lugar, he was elected as a governor. Nidalagan niya po siya bilang governor at their place na po in the Bohol and served only until 1941 when he puto ba siya 1941 when nidalagan niya po siya as a Senate President. Nidalagan po lang ito term bilang governor because nidalagan siya as a Senate President at time. So puto ba siya of 1941. So but in this 1941 nakadaog siya on the Senate President but he was unable to serve due to Japanese occupation of the Philippines during the Second World War. So wala na po pinagalayan ang pagkuha sa Senate President because of the it is the time of the Japanese occupation. So wala na. So he became guerrilla like President Magsaysay. So he was one of the guerrilla also that was fight against the Japanese mga at that time. So at 1950, Garcia was the running mate of Ramon Magsaysay in the presidential election with both men won. So in the 1950 election, President Garcia was the running mate for the vice president of President Ramon Magsaysay that time, and they both win on 1953. So habang siya ay kuan as the vice president of the Philippines, he also appointed as the secretary of foreign affairs by President Magsaysay and 4 years served as currently as the vice president. So in March 17th, which is the presidency landed on his lap because napunta niya ang president because Ramon Magsaysay was died on a plane crash last time. Muna na-landed niya kaya hindi siya kay vice presidency. Ang tumatay sa napunta niya ang bilang president. So after yan nag-finish ang Magsaysay na term and then idalagan ko siya bilang president at tumakuan. Dili kayo siya may running mate kung kuan. Siya running mate na some said that this accident was something na yung plan ko.
What is kay di ba kay sa ito may advice na pag mamatay ang president, ikaw mo yung president. Depende on the situation kung ano siya.
Wala mo dala mo ng position. Di ba sa siya vice president ko siya anak nga time ko niya. Nang running mate ko kuan. Ramon Magsaysay anak nga tayo kung ano nga
Identity sa may
Vice President is Diosdado Macapagal. So his administration was characterized by its austerity program and insistence as comprehensive nationalist policy. So we will go into talk about what his austerity program na what each one of his program na siya. So Carlos Garcia's administration. So these are the conditions of the Philippines. So the Philippines agreed to the number one conditions imposed by United States as a condition of receiving a war reconstruction aid. So at that time magud is kanutan president of US magud ta sige nagpan. So but at that time is magud ang World War II pa bago pang nahuman. So kailangan kita mahuman os mga Eastern American. So the Philippines agreed to certain conditions to receive aid which had lasting impact on the country's economy. So because of that reconstruction aid, nakahelp po na sa ang Philippines economy po nga grow. So this aid was crucial for building the nation after the World War II. So the impact of the import. So hindi dako ang pag-angkat nato or pag-import nato mga products in the especially sa in the US. We're very dependent on import. So sige naman tag-import sa time of Garcia we're going sige naman tag-import of mga goods from other countries. So we're dependent na lang sa inyong mga kuan or the goods of the other country, especially in the US. So imports from United States were allowed to enter the country because of duty free. So kasi pa yung nakilang duty sa duty free. Na na po na ng duty free at plus mga so plus na bayaran ng tariffs like that. So tax free, yes, that's correct na tax free sila plus na bayaran ng tax pag mo import sila ang goods in the from US to the Philippines. So committed adjust currency exchange. So ang currency exchange in the first figures administration is from $1 is to 2 pesos rang ang currency exchange rate. So these are the laws and programs of President Garcia. So the first one is the Filipino First Policy. So the Filipino First Policy is heart ng Carlos Garcia sa mga Pilipino because he took this law or this Filipino First Policy which is prioritize Filipino-owned businesses over foreign ones in the economy. Kaya katong mga panatay may small part naman so murag import na so yan building na law or this program mas papalagahan ang sarili atin kaysa sa mga ibang bansa. So the next one is the Bolen-Serrano Agreement. So this is one of agreement of the U.S. Ambassador Charles Bolen and Philippine Foreign Secretary Felix Berto Serrano. It reduced the list of U.S. military bases in the Philippines from 99 to 25 years to the global allowed only every 5 years and it was a milestone asserting Philippines sovereignty over its territory. So Bolen-Serrano, so that is the second law and programs of Carlos Garcia. So next is the austerity program. So ang austerity program is a clean and simple government. So ang austerity program kay sa kanya administration of pag-society na ng mga corruption. So napunta niya po niya ang sa corruption. So this program is frugality in government spending and is integrate yung public officials. So kasi yung wanted man of a clean and simple government. So he built this program. So this is reduction of luxury imports and the idea to save money and reduce corruption. So muna siya naka-help to reduce the corruption. But it faced resistance and lack of full implementation. So we're because of lack of implementation. And the next one is the Republic Cultural Award. So Garcia also put emphasis on cultural revival, decolonization of many countries and feel the revival of the Filipino culture was needed. So because we were here nag-colonize from Spanish, American and Japanese, murag nawala ang Filipino identity of the mga Filipino artists. We built these programs or this law para ma-rebuild or makita ang mga pinalagbalik ang mga artists of the Philippines. So the summary of government. So the focus of Garcia administration focused in the economic independence. So kung nag-build siya sa Filipino First program mo siya nga para mataas ang economic growth sa Philippines. Hindi na tayo magpasalig sa mga imports and then independence from and Garcia wanted the Philippines to be industrialized, self-sustaining country that would not heavily rely on products of foreign companies. Garcia also tried implementing this austerity program in hope of eliminating corruption. So kung gagawin kanina ka, the austerity program is para mawala or with full service, as a public service, public servant, and at the Puyo na sa kuan in Tagbilaran City, Bohol. Kaya kasi man siya ni kuan di just dalo makapagal 1961, so di pa na siya di pa na siya ni pagdala kasi panyatuan, and then he lived his private life in Tagbilaran City, Bohol. So on June 1, 1971, so Garcia was elected to delegate to the 1971 Constitutional Convention or the Convention. If you were asking what is the Constitutional Convention, it is a gathering or a delegates of elected or appointed to draft or revise or amend a country's constitution. Ang pinag-i ko ang ano niya, constitution is the 19-amend or nag-revise na constitution is the 1935 constitution nila na revise that. So however, sadly, he just after the election as a concurrent president, he was died because of a fatal heart attack on June 14, 1971. So, bird po pa pagka-elected because namatay po siya as of fatal heart attack. So, he was succeeded as president of the convention by his former vice president, Lalo Makamagan. So, Garcia was the first president that was entered at the libingan ng mga bayani. So, he was the first president that has been buried sa libingan ng mga bayani. Because Carlos Garcia is remembered for his patriotism, honesty, and efforts to make the Philippines self-reliant. So that's why he became the first president to be buried at the libingan ng mga bayani together with his wife, who died in 1994.
So if you compare si Marcos o siya, I would prefer Garcia's on para i-board siya dito sa heroes on kaysa ni Marcos.
Yes, because it is na-buried siya sa mga pansya. He was the first president that been buried at the libingan ng mga bayani. Bakit? Atong mga times, ato ng mga panis, i-report na kailangan with si late President Marcos nga kailangan sa buried sila sa President or libingan ng mga bayani ko, no? Pero wala ito yung school nga buried siya sa libingan ng mga bayani.
And then Duterte made it happen.
Yes, yung naguna. Ibalik ito ng President Marcos. Hindi ka na wala tayo bayani. Yes.
Everything that revealed niya from the beginning was good. Not until the middle or eventually
mga tao.
died.
Kaya hindi pa niya magbuhat siya, mabuti sa mga lugar. Kaya makuha niya ang mga tao sa likod ng Marshall. So, in conclusion, President Ramon Magsaysay and Carlos P. Garcia contributed greatly to the country's post-war recovery. So, Magsaysay was